It is 17 hours GMT. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Starr today here on Starr 103.5 FM.
Coming up in this broadcast, minorities push to take over majority status of Ghana's parliament hits a snag as majority leader files writ at the Supreme Court to block move.
I have filed a writ at the Supreme Court. Parliament has been duly served. There is an injunction application.
Well, tonight on Starr Today, we'll take you live to Parliament for the latest on this as the House reconvenes from recess.
Late on the broadcast, business owners and residents of Budumburam, the central region, count their losses a day after a dynamite explosion claimed the lives of at least 3 persons and left more than 40 others suffering life-threatening injuries.
Yesterday around 2 getting to 3, there is some blasting which happened yesterday that causes so many lives and property. So many people are injured. I heard boom, instant. So many people have even died. They have lost their lives. See this big stone here. This stone came with force. The stone wasn't here.
We'll also bring you the tears and anguish from residents who tragically lost their relatives as a result of that particular incident in Tutuwaa.
Well, later tonight, good news for political parties in the country as EC assures them that certified voters register will be released to them in November as the Commission begins online re-exhibition of register.
I think that we've had a very good deliberation. As we indicated, we'll provide the certified register to the parties in the first week of November or earlier. And please do not quote me. Do not misquote me. Do not.
We'll shortly hear from the largest opposition, NDC, who have made some demands to the Electoral Commission.
Ghanaians should rather thank the NDC, bringing this one to the fore for making sure that we put the Electoral Commission to strict proof of whatever they are bringing out there. We are still very mindful about the statistics because the figure he showed is different from the statistics. Are they going to print those ballot papers and later on come and remove the 558?
Also in this bulletin, you will hear why the leader of the Ghana Freedom Party, Efia, is threatening to sue former President Mahama over claims that some presidential candidates do not merit to appear on the ballot paper.
And tonight on the campaign trail, we sit with Moses, named the Member of Parliament for Trouble and the campaign spokesperson for Agric and Fisheries for the governing NPP. You don't want to miss a bit of this, so stick and stay with us right here on Starr Today on Starr 103.5 FM.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Cool 103.5 FM in Ho, Rage and Might FM in Tamale, Sonali FM in Wa, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM.
Grateful for your company this evening and welcome aboard Ghana's most comprehensive news analysis program. Starr Today here on Starr 103.5 FM. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah and tonight I'm here with
Tutuwaa Danso. And we start off the broadcast from the House of Legislature because a push by the minority in Parliament to be named the majority side of the House has hit a snag. This comes after the majority leader, Alexander Apenyomarkin, filed a writ and an injunction application at the Supreme Court concerning the minority's push to invoke Article 97 to declare the four parliamentary parliamentary seats vacant. This move is in response to a petition from Tamale South MP Haruna Idrisu requesting that the seats for Fomena, Amenfi Central, Agona West and Suhum be declared vacant. 3 of the MPs involved have left their political parties to run as independent candidates, while the 4th, originally an independent MP, is now contesting under the New Patriotic Party. Here is Haruna Idrisu declaring his intention to push for that declaration.
On Tuesday, the Parliament of Ghana will reconvene. And when it reconvenes, I am very certain that Parliament and Ghana will go through a major constitutional test. And that constitutional test is that the NDC minority must become the majority from Wednesday next week. I assume, and this must happen if there is constitutional and legal propriety in Ghana, because any nuanced interpretation of Article 97 provides that if a member of parliament on a political party ticket like MPP defects and fails to be independent, that MP ceases to be member of parliament. And if an independent member of parliament, by virtue of the provision of Article 97, subclause G, an independent joins a political party, that independent loses constitutional recognition and does not belong to parliament. And even if an NDC candidate, MP, defects to become an independent, he ceases to be a member of parliament. Therefore, we will invoke the Speaker's proper and true interpretation of Article 97 by our standing order.
So you heard there Haruna Idrisu. He is Tamale South MP, Tamale Central MP right there, and a former minority leader. But even before that item will be tabled before the House for consideration, the majority leader has run to the courts to seek an injunction. At a press briefing in Parliament, Apenyomarkin added that an injunction application has also been filed to prevent the Speaker from declaring any seats vacant, arguing that the MPs involved have not formally communicated their exit from their caucuses. Listen.
A memo which was addressed to Mr. Speaker by the respected member for Tamale South. I got a copy. And he has sent a notice of petition to Mr. Speaker to declare some seat vacant. And he has listed Agona West, Suhum, Amenfi Central, and Fomena. So he relies on Order 99 and also anchors his application on Order 18. And he intends to move the House to consider this matter. But before then, I think I have also looked at the matter, the constitutional provision, and I hold the view that the members of my caucus who have filed to go independent for the next election have not written to me as the head of the caucus to say that they are no more part of the caucus. So as far as I'm concerned, the caucus remains intact. And I believe that some of these controversies are better settled by the courts. So in my capacity as the majority leader, I have filed a writ at the Supreme Court. Parliament has been duly served. There is an injunction application also attached to the writ, also duly served. Therefore, I believe that if we are going to respect the law, this matter will be placed on ice until the Supreme Court determines the matter. But it's good for democracy.
So that's Alexander Apenyomarkin, the majority leader there. But let's get to speak to our man who's been in Parliament all day, EIB's legal parliamentary affairs correspondent, Ibrahim Al-Hassan. Ibrahim, now, I mean, of course, I've not engaged with you on parliamentary affairs in a long time, so yes.
Very. And usually, you are right, legal and parliamentary affairs. Because as is happening now, both are meeting. The legislature is found a very comfortable place
in the judiciary.
So
tell me, I mean, what's the latest regarding this issue?
Well, so I can tell you that Haruna had actually indicated that these processes will be triggered tomorrow. So I'm wondering why many people were expecting fireworks today. The voices you played from Haruna, he had indicated that it's tomorrow that the processes will be triggered. So indeed, today what he did was to send a petition, notice of movement of a motion to trigger order
97.
Article 97 in essence. But when you come to orders of the Parliament, we have order 18 and order 98. The three grounded his petition to the Speaker. Now, when you send a petition to the Speaker, because the Speaker doesn't manage Parliament alone, you have to copy the other caucuses. So, indeed, Alexander Kwame Afenyo-Markin, the majority leader, who's a leader of government business and leader of Parliament, was in copy.
Okay.
And so when you go hold of this copy, because in the legal terms, they always make this argument that you can't put something on nothing and expect it to stand, right? So this one, Afenyo-Markin had something. And that something is a petition from Harun Idrisu, the Tamale South MP. So he then, per the accounts he gave us, instructed his lawyers to quickly, with alacrity, move to the Supreme Court and then file the processes. Did this come to us watchers as a surprise? No. Even this morning, we were on Morning Star talking about this, that eventually the Apex Court of the Land will have to make a determination as to the way forward. Because it's happened before. And interestingly, it happened to the same person this is about to happen to again. That's a former MP. Yes, so Andre Siama, whose seat was then declared vacant in the 7th Parliament. And once that was done, given how hostile the environment was going to be, he never stepped foot in Parliament. In fact, the day he came to Parliament, I think he came to file some processes and what have you. We even spoke to him in that regard, and then he left. Right. But given the fact that he won, undid everything that Professor Makukwe did to him relative to his status and whatever his entitlements were, because he had become the cornerstone of the foundation, even though at the point he was rejected. Now, this question was put to Alexander Kwame Afenyo-Markin. First of all, the timing, and as to how come that when Professor Okwe,
I mean, there's precedence.
Exactly. How come he didn't go to court? And he says, I was not the majority leader then, 1. 2, the circumstances are not the same. But his main argument is that, at least, the NDC is seeking to ban one of his own in this process. You see, something must give. And that's our Mensah Central MP, who has also filed to contest Joanna Jan Kodjo as an independent candidate in that constituency because he lost the primaries. Now, that's one. But MPP is going to lose 3. So Suhum, Aguna West, and then Fomena. Now, his argument is that Aguna West, Cynthia Mamile Morrison, has not officially written to him as the leader of her caucus. That she's no longer a member of the MPP.
The majority.
So just Cynthia.
Cynthia, 1. When you go to Suhum, has not written to he Afenyo-Markin to indicate that they are no longer part of the party. It doesn't matter what the party's constitution says, that once you go as independent, automatically you cease to be a member of the MPP. So it doesn't matter. He, as the leader of the caucus, has not been informed by any of these individuals that they are no longer.
Is he seeking to reinvent the wheels?
You can put it that way, but of course, I'm sure these are legal arguments. And in the morning, you could sense that he was arguing his case before us, before he even gets the audience at the Supreme Court.
Interesting.
But on the floor of Parliament, the minority, regardless of what the majority said, this meeting was the engagement was supposed to be among the 2 leaders and we, the media. So minority leader, majority leader. For interestingly, Alexander Kwame Afenyo-Markin was the only one who showed up. It's not unconventional. It happens. Sometimes, if the minority has nothing to say, they leave everything to the leader of government business. Now, Alassane Suhuyini and a few others, when they go up to speak, right? And they were referencing the majority leader. They will say soon to be minority leader. If they are referencing the minority leader, they will say soon to be majority leader.
Right.
Yes, and that gave us an indication as to how forceful the minority side will be seeking to push this. Yes, the courts will have their time to make a conclusive determination as far as this case is concerned. But the politics of it, which will play out in Parliament, is what we should be looking out for. And knowing Speaker, I think I can file two processes: the writ and then the application for injunction.
Right.
It's the injunction that the Speaker doesn't want to hear. You know that, right? The Speaker says the two entities, the two arms of government are independent.
Yeah.
Now, the judiciary is seized with the responsibility of interpreting the laws that are passed by Parliament and also even the Constitution. Until a process is terminated, as far as the legislative process is concerned, you have no business whatsoever going to the judiciary. The judiciary has equally no business whatsoever delving into the nitty-gritties of legislation. And that's exactly what has happened. That there's a motion.
Yes.
The motion is seeking for some seats to be declared vacant. The motion has not even been moved on the floor of Parliament,
But
right?
the process is also happening at the Supreme Court.
And then an injunction application has been filed. If the injunction application is granted, then we come back to the ranting of Speaker that what happened relative to the anti-gay bill or the human sexual rights and family values bill is what he would term as opening the Pandora's box, where Parliament would never be allowed to undertake any activity. All it will take is somebody goes to the court,
And
files the processes, seeks to injunct Parliament, and that is it. But Speaker had indicated that if he was going to fight this. So we await what happens from tomorrow. Mind you, they are sitting for just 3 weeks. And in fact, even today being the very first day of sitting, the numbers were not encouraging. Who are you to come to Parliament and your opponent is digging a grave for you in the constituency? By the time
it's a tricky one.
It is.
It is a very tricky time.
It is a very tricky
Looking
one.
at the fact that we have, less than 54 days till the elections,
Yeah.
nobody really wants to risk it.
That's the
because
point.
nobody is assured of his or her seat as it stands now.
And that's the danger. For the minority, any fight is a good fight. All they need to tell their constituents is that forget it. We are fighting another fight in Parliament, right? But because today, for instance, there was this fertilizer fight, very interesting one. And so the Agric Minister, in the name of addressing the dry spell, it's not drought, dry spell.
Dry spell.
Yes, it's decided to send about 400 bags of fertilizer to all the MPs. Now, he's done that to all the MPs. And the fertilizers have been sent to the district assemblies. Now, many of these minority MPs are fighting against MMDCs who are also parliamentary candidates, especially in the Volta region and the other places. Now, Rocky Nasundafe, of course, says that his MCE says he should come and kneel down and beg before the 400 bags of fertilizer will be released. That's one. The other one is Bernard Ahiafo,
Right.
whose opponent is saying that the 400 bags of fertilizer have been given to him. He sold the fertilizers and he's chopping the money.
Oh my God.
So he was on the floor today crying that Brian Champon, the sector minister, should stand up and then indicate as to whether indeed he has taken custody of the fertilizer. And so Brian Champon got up and said, "Oh, I've sent fertilizers to all of you. They are the district assemblies. If you've not gone for them, then go."
It's your JJJ.
But and it generated a lot of heat, right? Even it found expression in the opening address or welcoming address of the minority leader, Dr. Kesela Tuforsen. But Speaker then ended up assuring the minority that, see, people have made up their minds already. There's no fertilizer that I can take to change anything.
Interesting. And we should expect some very interesting dynamics in Parliament with this recall. We'll see how things pan out. But IB, we're grateful. We're grateful for your time. That's Ibrahim Al Hassan speaking to us, and we would get more from Parliament. But this is Starr today here on Starr 103.5 FM. After this break, we do have more for you. Stick and stay. We'll also bring you the latest in the really sad incident involving the death of at least 3 people in Kaswa. Very, very sad. Stay.
Fellow countrymen and women, the desperate NPP, realizing that they are losing the 2024 elections, has once again resorted to lies to smear the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The NPP's claim that Mahama was against free SHS and will cancel it when elected is nothing but a barefaced lie calculated to deceive you. John Mahama started the implementation of the progressively free SHS program in 2015 with day students and had a clear plan to expand the program to cover borders, hence cannot be said to be against free SHS. What he has been against is the poor implementation of the program. Contrary to the lies of the NPP, the next NDC Mahama government will improve the implementation of the free SHS program to make it better. We will do this by scrapping the double track system, provide a dedicated source of funding for the program, include private SHS, improve the feeding of our children, and enhance the quality of learning outcomes. Listen to the truth from the horse's own mouth.
Free senior high school education has come to stay. If anybody tells you that I, John Dramani Mahama, son of E. Mahama, will abolish free SHS when I come, tell the person he's a bloody liar. What I'm against is the poor implementation of the free SHS, which is creating great inconvenience for the parents, for the students, and for the teachers. And one of the things we'll do when we come back into office, and I know inshallah we're coming back into office, is to complete the 200 community day schools that we began, so that we can bring a quick end to the double track system.
Beware of the NPP's lies. Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Accra gets ready for the ultimate sporting event of the year. Starr 103.5 FM, your number one radio station, presents the Starr FM Attend Diplomatic Games.
On Saturday, 26th of October, the world's top diplomats gather for a friendly competition like no other in Accra, Ghana, under the theme Breast Cancer Awareness. Feel it, find it, fight it, and remember, there will be free breast cancer screening.
The venue is the American International School Sports Complex, East Legon, Accra. Time 8 a.m. prompt. The dress code is sporty pink. Activities of the day include
soccer, volleyball, tennis, obstacle race, indoor games, and more.
Who takes home the gold? Look out for our colorful and exciting children's corner. Join us live at the Diplomatic Games with commentary from your favorite Starr FM hosts. Don't miss the action at the Starr FM Attend Diplomatic Games on Saturday, October 26, 2024 at the AIS Sports Complex, East Legon. Remember, attendance is absolutely free, but registration is compulsory.
Visit www.starfm.com.gh to register for free. This event is in partnership with American International School and supported by Sahara Rise Hospitality, Accra Medical Center.
I'm saying that Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Many mistakes have been made by countries in Africa already with free SHS.
Akufado, minya wudienye, wuye bwe, bawumia, minya wudienye, wuye bwe.
Hey, Mommy Jamefua, why are you so excited this hot afternoon?
My sister, when I remember what free SHS has done for me and my children, I can't help but be happy for what Nanado and Dr. Bawumia have done. You remember when I lost my husband who was the breadwinner?
Yes, I remember very well.
There was no hope for my 3 children to go to school until Nanado and Dr. Bawumia introduced free SHS. Now my children, Kofi, Esi, and Kodjo, attend all these big schools. In fact, do you know they are saying they want to review it? That's one. Some of their people are saying that they should cancel. Others too are saying they should make some people pay the fees.
Hey, they want to do their thing again. Who is going to pay and who will be going for free? They want to push we the poor people aside and start using their connection men and protocol to access the free SHS life-changing policy.
That is why we have to do everything in our civil rights to make sure they don't come and spoil this good thing for us.
This free SHS policy that Mahama and his people said is not possible. But now see,
It is possible. This year, we are voting to protect the free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, number 1 on the ballot.
Incredible.
You're welcome back from the break. This is still Starr today here on Starr FM, and I am Tutuwaa Danso. Our breaking news coming in just this evening indicates that Pastor Elijah Salifu Amwako has been arrested owing to that accident that claimed the lives of 2 young people at East Legon. And my colleague Edem Kodjo has joined me in the studios with the latest on that from the Ghana Police Service. Edem, good evening.
Good evening, Tutuwaa.
What more can you tell us?
So, in a latest update that came through just about 2 minutes ago, or a few minutes ago, police says an update on a fatal East Legon accident. Parent of suspect driver arrested. Now, the police says the Ghana Police has today, 15th October 2024, arrested suspects Bishop Elisha Salifu Amwako and Moha Amwako, parent of the suspect driver involved in the fatal accident that claimed 2 lives at East Legon on Saturday, 12th October 2024. Now, the police goes on to say that investigations have so far established that on 12th October 2024, suspect driver Elrad Salifu Amwako, aged 16, driving a Jaguar SUV vehicle with registration number GN780120 with 1 other occupant, rammed into a 4x4 Acura vehicle, also with registration number GR2542-23, driven by Joseph Aka with 4 other occupants at Mensah Wood Street at East Legon. Both cars caught fire and burned beyond recognition. Now, the police goes on to say that the investigations further indicate that 3 of the 5 victims of the Acura vehicle during the accident were rescued, and the other 2 identified as Justine Agbenu and Maame Jomo, both 12 years of age, lost their lives. 2 of the rescued victims who sustained minor injuries were treated and discharged, while the 3rd is still on admission receiving medical attention. 4 says the suspect driver with the other occupant in the Jaguar vehicle were also rescued and are currently on admission at the hospital. The parents of the 16-year-old suspect driver, Bishop Elisha Salifu Amwako and Moha Amwako, are currently in custody assisting the investigation. Now, the police goes on to say, meanwhile, a team from the Police Management Board, led by the Inspector General of Police IGP Dr. George Akufodampare, today, 15th October 2024, visited the bereaved family to commiserate with them and also visited the injured at the hospital. The police would like to assure the family of a thorough investigations into the incident to bring closure to the affected families as we continue to remember them in our prayers in this difficult time. So, Tutuwaa, this is the news that is coming in. The police have confirmed the identity of those involved in Saturday's unfortunate fire. And then the big news in there is that the parents, which is Bishop Salifu Amwako and his spouse, Moha Amwako, are currently in police custody assisting investigations.
Thank you very much, Edem Kodjo, for those details there. Very unfortunate developments, but this is still Starr today, and this has been our breaking news.
Tracking the news with breakneck speed. This is a Starr FM 103.5 breaking news.
Let's move on to one of our headline stories this evening, because as the clock ticks closer to the December 7 general election, the political parties are also making demands for the EC to serve them with copies of the voter register for their perusal. And with 54 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections, the Electoral Commission has assured that it will release certified copies of the register to them in the first week of November 2024. The Commission has begun an online exhibition exercise across the country as part of efforts to to address discrepancies in the voter register. Now, speaking at an IPAC meeting earlier today, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Adukwe Mensah, said the Commission will work closely with the political parties and incorporate their feedback in the final register.
Again, you raise the issue of, the pink sheets that you like to certify it. I do not see that there's a problem with it. There's no cause for alarm. I mean, if you certified the notice of polls and so on, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you certifying the ballots and the pink sheets. I think this has been the practice, and it's not going to change. But it's important to mention, because I have heard it being said several times on, but recall, we had in our final meeting with the CI 127. It was missing from that CI. So it was no fault of the EC, because the CI did not take into account that indicator that says the total number of persons verified by the BVD. We believe that in 2016, this must have been an agreement that was outside, the CI. And therefore, when we went to 2020, it was the pure and simple form of the CI 127 that was printed to govern the pink sheets. And this is it here. It does not include that indicator, total number of persons verified by the BVD. It does not include it. So that is what we printed. And I think that we all know that around this table. And therefore, we should not peddle misinformation and peddle fake news and disinformation and give the impression to the citizenry, the innocent citizens who do not know the process, that the Electoral Commission can make somebody a president. I'd like to state on this occasion and quote from Dr. Hassan Ariga that the EC can never make anybody a president. What the EC does is to declare who the voters choose as their president. And so it is the guy that makes the president. We only declare the voters' choice. And that is what will happen come December 2024. It is who the voter wants to be president of this land who will be declared by the EC. On that note, we would like to thank all of you for your contributions. I think that we've had a very good deliberation. As we indicated, we'll provide the certified register to the parties in the first week of November or earlier. And please do not quote me. Do not misquote me.
You just heard there Jean Adukwe Mensah, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. But the largest opposition, NDC, is, however, urging the Electoral Commission to reconsider the online exhibition of the voter register. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Director of Elections and IT of the NDC, and he spoke to the media after that IPAC meeting.
We have crossed over 2020, and we've even had an election in 2023. That issue didn't arise in 2023 for the District Assembly election, mind you. And we also had limited voter registration in 2024. Up to all this one. This is the last part he started mentioning, issue the first exhibition. Why didn't he read it overhead? We are saying that the issue of your e-exhibition, don't forget, they were trying to run away and say they are not doing exhibition. And they were trying to say that they put the thing online, just on their website. Don't forget, they are still doing a re-exhibition. This is an exhibition exercise they are doing. They've given a timeline. And it's fall within regulation 23 of CI 91. We are clear in our mind. And we're also clear in our mind about the statistics they gave. Because look, I can open it here. The thing is not statistics, ballot statistics. It's a provisional statistics. 2024 provisional ballot statistics. It's there, here. So what do I say? You see, they were shifting the goalposts. I mean, we gave a statistics and you say provisional, 2024 provisional ballot statistics. So if you are talking about it, we're within your own document. And I can share it with you if you want. I can display it here for them to say. So for them to say that they were not talking about provisional, their own document is saying provisional. And the figures therein is different from the figure you was displaying here. Very well. I mean, we're trying to help them. I mean, we've been helping them all along. If you see all these processes that go through the NDC ingenuity, that has helped the Electoral Commission up to this level. And we thought that if you want to go that path and this difficulty of having one by one throughout, why can't you do bulk checking of the data? I mean, that is why we're just trying to assist them in that aspect. And if you saw my technical man, Yaira spoke extensively about it. I mean, well-intentioned, we will find a way of getting our people to check their names, and then we'll go and study the PVR they have given us. We'll go and take our time and study it, and then come clean of it. And definitely, whatever we are doing, Ghanaians should rather thank the NDC for bringing this one to the fore, for making sure that we put the electoral community strict proof of whatever they are bringing out there. We are still very mindful about the statistics because the figure he showed is different from the statistics. Are they going to print those ballot papers and later on come and remove the 558 difference that we have seen in that differences? We cannot allow that, and he must come clean. And then the 20,000 difference that we saw in the transfer badge, you remember, he mentioned some transfer badge. And I put it to him that your transfer badge had a difference of almost 20,000 plus. We will need the data. We want to see what happened. Those who were involved in that one. We are not going to glide on.
Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Director of Elections and IT of the NDC, expressing his displeasure about the online exhibition of the voter register. Let's still stay on election-related issues this evening because the flag bearer of the Ghana Freedom Party, Efia Donko, has served notice to initiate illegal action into NDC's flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, over his claims that some presidential candidates do not merit to appear on the ballot paper. Take a listen to her.
What's for computer now? Now, what church now they are better anymore. If you didn't and do it to the cassette, and all the family is young. We are a Juma ya, my man, one time, yeah. Or a doma, the Juma way, or a doma in Pofo. And this other cassa answer with them here. May I catch them one there? Or my penega Mahamano. Or so I want penna, but the little court. But the little court. Maybe I told me, but the little court. Because soon too busy, trillion, the magic of Bahama. So the two parts in all the man's Catiana. Let me know. Minimum. I am tonight, you can say. And you can see a family. Now, I'm a partner, and I said in Trigana. Remember what I said, the little court, you see in the penny for. Remember that. So I check. Me a different. And I'm Trigana. And to do a kind of side, I will run on power chow. Me run by chow. Oh, how my money now? If I told you, I'm a say. So I see me. You didn't panel Casa say, I'm winning our tea. Send the penny to a heart and say, thank you, I am my back. I have got a. Well, betcha, I made a cocoa or betcha. So until me, I'm waiting the betcha. Now, when the cocoa to the family, I say, may catch them off, may say. The quarter no one on the whole come and come out. May my body at Jenny. And I want to know about the pandemics. And I bet you, my CP, I catch and say, I'm a pandemic, a cat out in the doctor. Your doctor, one family, and yes, sir, may swimming minimum to America, may swan on the quarter. This one I found back. So I found back, but the little quack. May I guess out the little quack? I know, yes, sir, but say the little quack. Me tell you what can be.
Efia Donko is the flag bearer of the Ghana Freedom Party, speaking about the fact that John Mahama disrespected her when he indicated that some people do not deserve to be on that ballot paper, and she's threatening legal action against him, and she wants to sue him for an amount she says is 2 trillion. I'm not sure of the currency, but that's Efia Donko there. But let's talk about move away from politics and talk about Galamsey, because the minority in Parliament is demanding the summoning of ministers responsible for the fight against Galamsey to account for money spent on the exercise so far. Minority Leader Dr. Cassio Ataforson, in his welcome address, admonished government to treat the fight against illegal mining with some sense of urgency, arguing that an Ado Bawumia government has failed in addressing the menace.
Our once pristine rivers and water bodies are now looking as brown as coffee, having been poisoned to satisfy the insatiable greed of unscrupulous few of our citizens. Mr. Speaker, many farmlands, including cocoa farms, have been completely destroyed, and in their place are unattended pits and gullies from these uncontrolled mining activities. Mr. Speaker, according to the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the CSIR, it may take up to 300 years to restore the quality of soil damaged by these illegal mining activities. Right Honorable Speaker, it appears that Ghana is at war against itself, and the destructive effect of this frightening and far-reaching mining, Mr. Speaker, will go a long way to affect the lives of the people of Ghana. This reckless and criminal discharge of heavy metals such as mercury, lead, and cyanide into our water bodies and land have already begun to have dire consequences on the health of our people. Mr. Speaker, medical experts have delivered a scary verdict on the babies being born with various deformities, such as the absence of limbs, eyes, and other vital body parts. Mr. Speaker, we are at crisis point. At the heart of this crisis is leadership failure, official complicit, and lack of political will by the Akufo-Addo government and the MPP. Right Honorable Speaker, to do nothing is no longer an option. Right Honorable Speaker, I repeat, to do nothing is no longer an option. This House must rise to the occasion and bring the necessary action to bear on the President, the Vice President, and the government to act.
Dr. Kasiawata-Forson is the minority leader, but the majority leader, Alexander Kwame Apenyumakin, however, rejected the failure tag against the Nana Addo administration in the fight against Galamsey. According to the Efutu MP, the menace has been with the country for a while now, and thus blaming the current government will be most unfair.
Mr. Speaker, as we approach the general elections on December 7th, I would like to appeal to my colleagues to be circumspect and measured in their public utterances in the heat of the campaign. The name calling, the mudslinging, character assassination, defamation, smearing, slandering, vilification, tribalism, ethnicism, and similar others are very negative to our body politics, which I suggest strongly that we should not allow it to permeate through this period. As we're celebrating 30 years of uninterrupted parliamentary democracy, it is high time we eschewed these unhealthy political habits and make issue and fact-based messages the focal point of our political campaigns. In view of this, I beseech all political actors and players in the country, both within and outside this House, to be guided in the statement they put out in the country. This is the only country we have, and it is imperative that we protect the democracy that we are currently enjoying for present generation and posterity. Mr. Speaker, we must learn to have faith and repose trust in state agencies and entities, especially so when their functions are critical to the peace and stability of the country. It is important that during this period, we trust these institutions to carry out their constitutional mandate. Mr. Speaker, through your enviable leadership, we, the members of this august House, have had the opportunity to engage the Electoral Commission on numerous occasions. It is my expectation that we'll continue to use this opportunity granted us through your leadership to judge with the EC on salient issues bordering on the conduct of the forthcoming general elections.
Those were the opening remarks of the two leaders of the House. But let's also hear from the Speaker, who is urging the House to do everything possible to safeguard the peace and the country is currently enjoying. Alban Bagbin charged MPs not to abandon their legislative duties for their campaigns for re-election.
It is essential, therefore, as leaders, we act to preserve the gains of our democracy. This means conducting ourselves with decorum, promoting peaceful discourse, and ensuring that our campaigns and public statements reflect the high standards expected of us as representatives of the people. Our democracy has been built over decades of hard work and sacrifice. We must guard it jealously against any actions or rhetoric that could undermine it. Let us remember that the stability of our democratic system is a collective responsibility. We have a duty to demonstrate that even in the midst of fierce political competition, we can uphold the values of respect, integrity, and unity. Our role as parliamentarians goes beyond seeking re-election. We are custodians of the democratic principles that form the foundation of this nation. Honorable members, as you campaign, I urge you to carry the pride and dignity of the House with you. Speak to the issues that matter to the people. Engage in constructive debate. And most importantly, be an example of the kind of leadership that strengthens rather than weakens. Leadership that unites rather than divides, particularly our people and our communities.
Those were excerpts from Parliament regarding the fight against illegal mining. You're still listening to Starr Today here on Starr FM.
Starr Today. First, fast, and credible.
Let's do sports and Starr Today now. And I've been joined in the studios by Benjamin Yama Bengazi. It's been a while I saw you. What's happening? You suddenly showed up because the Black Stars lost.
Well, I've been around. Perhaps it's you who has been missing in action. Anyway, Ghana's Black Stars are in danger of not qualifying for the Nations Cup for the first time in almost 2 decades after a 2-0 defeat at the hands of Sudan at the Matthias de Benina Stadium in Benghazi, Libya. Sudan determined and disciplined, capitalized on quick 2 goals in the second half to ensure they won the game by a 2-goal margin. The Stars had hope in the second half when Inaki Williams' goal was disallowed for offside. However, Sudan went ahead on a counter-attack through Ahmed Al-Tash in the 62nd minute. Now, Mohamed Abdul Rahman made it 2 when he outpaced Mohamed Salisu and scored Sudan's second goal from a low shot past Atizigi Lawrence 3 minutes later after they scored the first goal. Now, Ghana struggled to respond with Kudus attempts missing their post together with Inaki Williams as a volley also missing the post, leading to frustration for Ghanaians back home in Ghana. As it stands now, Angola, who are currently in action against Niger, are on top. They have 9 good points to their credit. Second now is Sudan on 7 points, and then we have third, which is Ghana on 2 points, and then Niger have just 1 point in there. Now, meanwhile, coach for the Sudan national team, Kwesi Appiah, has been speaking after his team's victory over the Black Stars. And he says, according to him, it's unfortunate that between his team, Sudan and Ghana, only one team had to qualify. And obviously, with a win for his team, it means Sudan are qualifying over the Black Stars.
Inshallah, every game is serious. But inshallah, the next game, you try to get at least a win to qualify automatically.
What do you say for big fund spend?
The fans? Yeah, always when we come here, Libya is Sudanese home. You know, when we come here, we have a lot of Sudanese in Libya, and they all come to support us, which is very good. And that is why we are choosing here as our home. It's unfortunate because Ghana has a good team, and it's unfortunate that one of us, either Ghana or us, has to go out. And unfortunately for Ghana, Sudan has beaten them, so automatically Sudan will have to go.
So that's Kwesi Appiah, who is the coach of Sudan after his team's 2-0 win over the Black Stars. So Ghana, like I said, are in danger of not qualifying for the AFCON in almost 2 decades. The last time we failed to do so was in 2004.
Right. And they have actually made us proud with 2 points after 4 games.
Ghana has made
they should be proud of themselves. Thank you very much,
Benjamin. Anyway, updates. It's 90 minutes now played. It's Niger 0, Angola 1. So it means Angola will qualify officially. For the Nations Cup. And that means 1 slot left in Ghana's group.
They return with the
Sudan
2 points.
on 7 points, Ghana on 2 means Sudan are through. So I can tell you for a fact the Black Stars are out. They can't qualify for
Niger.
They can't qualify for
Yeah, we are proud of them. 2 points, 4 games. Thank you very much. Benjamin Yamwa is a sports presenter here at EIB Network. Let's talk about one very sad development because residents of Budumburam in the central region are demanding compensation from authorities following yesterday's tragic explosion, which caused 3 deaths and many others injured earlier today when the news team visited the community. Some community members who suffered losses were seen gathering debris from their shops and homes. They tell GH1 News and Starr FM that due compensation for what they have lost is the only action from authorities that will calm rising tempers. The following report has the details.
When the news team arrived at Budumburam this morning, Residents could be seen going around assessing the extent of damage caused by the explosion. The destruction seemed not to have caused much damage at first glance. However, a stroll into the community behind the shops lined up by the street revealed horrifying experiences from residents, many who had roofs of their homes punctured by flying stones.
There be a announcement to you, Januko. But under the announcement to be a main and I say, I'm a pay abono. Nti ewu ya na start say edwanwan na mpa so am say dan we ya na hwan ye chise mukuru nfofo
dan chance no we ya brasin o fe beba no betu na obobo freje no no besia akora na kwa no we inside o say o pray dan o fi dan 3 minutes pepepe na azini si fe dan ya beba no da one no be ni ya beba no ogwan I say dan ya obobo won etu akwa next room nti ya say aban say samaya nsuto na o chenya dan wontum ndem.
This shop owner had the entire glass door to his pharmacy broken.
For us in the shop, it's just by the grace of God that we didn't suffer any casualty in that extent. Cost us about 12,000 Ghana cedis to replace those glasses. And now they are shattered again. And this time around, it's basically the whole glass. So if I'm to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically, it may take us twice the amount we spent the other time. So
that's about 24,000.
That's about 24,000 just for the glass doors.
Georgina Ewusi is a resident, and she narrates to us how she watched her father lose his life through the explosion.
I felt a strange sound, and I told him, Daddy, we should just stand up and run because we don't know what is coming. And he was also asking me, I don't really know too. So when I was pulling him for us to leave, I just felt the strange sound. So when I came back, I just saw that my daddy was just between the table, bleeding. For him, he don't normally tell us his age, but from last week we were calculating something and he was saying that roughly he will be at age 61.
Nana Kodjo Esol is the chief of Budumburam. He tells the troubled residents not to take the law into their hands. He says the authorities should be allowed to carry out investigations into the explosion and make known their findings.
What started our blasting, Yakob Pio or Bibia Renzi, no, I'm there. And since I can't open war blasting, you bar on the way to a woman when the Ama Abandam, in Abandama, and yes, the Abba said, I say, Mama Sinko, Abba Sinko, Womi and Fred, young clear to Mom, Yako, the young friend from War, Abandon Manorian.
As residents await news of any compensation package from authorities, their plea to the contractors is for prior notice ahead of any future explosions. Nurain Abbas, Starr FM, Budumburam.
That was a report filed by my colleague Nurain Abbas. And up next on the broadcast is the campaign tour, but that will be after this short commercial break. Don't go away.
Charlie, this year's elections, I am really confused. I don't know who to vote for.
Why don't you know who to vote for? Let's listen to one policy JDM says he's going to implement when he's voted.
I think so NDC ban. They be bien Juman kitten. My person branch executive na di omo bejim. Say akoko na person share poultry farm ketu ebi near mao akoko bono near ton koko na mao near mao eduane a ode beto eduane ama sika ode beto eduane ama.
But why are you laughing? My guy, relax. So this is the reason he wants us to vote for him? Oh, the man hasn't changed one bit. Same old dead goats. Now let's listen to one of the many policies Dr. Bawumia has for the youth.
Jobs would be my major focus. Now, me be training 1 million youth in digital skills.
And see, that's not all. Apart from that, he's going to set up SME Bank to enable SMEs expand, to create jobs for the youth, and also increase demand with the buy now, pay small policy, which is the credit scoring system.
Oh, really?
That's not all, oh. Let me give you the last one. He says he's going to introduce Buy Ghana First policy to boost local businesses to help them expand and employ more youth.
Wow. Now, I know who I'm voting for come December 7th. Dr. Baumia, you have my vote.
Yes, so these are but a few of DMB's bold solutions for the youth when he's voted into power come December 7th.
I've changed my mind. I'm not voting for JDM anymore. I'll vote for the bold solutions man, Dr. Baumia.
Great decision, my brother. This year, Dr. Baumia's vote, Yem Fan Cheche.
And yeah,
Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
Accra gets ready for the ultimate sporting event of the year. Star 103.5 FM, your #1 radio station, presents the Star FM Attend Diplomatic Games.
On Saturday, 26th of October, the world's top diplomats gather for a friendly competition like no other in Accra, Ghana, under the theme Breast Cancer Awareness. Feel it, find it, fight it. And remember, there will be free breast cancer screening.
The venue is the American International School Sports Complex, East Legon, Accra. Time, 8 a.m. prompt. The dress code is sporty pink. Activities of the day include
soccer, volleyball, tennis, obstacle race, indoor games, and more.
Who takes home the gold? Look out for our colorful and exciting children's corner. Join us live at the Diplomatic Games with commentary from your favorite Star FM hosts. Don't miss the action at the Star FM Attend Diplomatic Games on Saturday, October 26, 2024 at the AIS Sports Complex, East Legon. Remember, attendance is absolutely free, but registration is compulsory.
Visit www.starfm.com.gh to register for free. This event is in partnership with American International School and supported by Sahara Rise Hospitality, Accra Medical Center.
Star today, first, fast, and credible.
You're welcome back from that break. And this is simply the best station, Star 103.5 FM, and EIB remains your 2024 election hub. It is now time to officially take you on the campaign trail. Time check is 2 minutes to the hour 6 and 54 days to election 2024. My guest this evening is a 3-time member of parliament for Tutuwaa, a former leader of the House, specifically a 2nd deputy majority whip, a former deputy fisheries minister, who is now tasked with the arduous duty of communicating the Vice President and NPP flag bearer's position on the agric and fisheries subsector. My guest this evening is seated in the studios. You definitely wouldn't want to miss this conversation coming up shortly. Remember that we are live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM. You can also listen and send us your WhatsApp messages with your questions on the number 055-288-0216. Again, it's 055-288-0216. This is your campaign trail. You're welcome once again to the campaign trail. This is Starr today here on Starr FM. As I told you earlier, my guest is seated in the person of Moses Inim, the Member of Parliament for the Chobu constituency. Honorable, it's a pleasure to have you in our studios this evening.
I'm extremely grateful to be here as well.
Absolutely.
You have a fantastic place.
It's very fantastic. Thank you very much for that, by the way. But let me first of all ask you, I believe you're in Parliament today, and Parliament reconvened.
I just moved from Parliament here because I had confirmed this interview. Other than that, I should have been there.
Okay.
But this is equally important because we are in an election year, and we need to make programs available for Ghanaians so that the Ghanaians can look at what we have and compare, do the comparisons. And then finally, I know they will decide for Dr. Bawumia and MPP majority in Parliament.
So you don't want to talk about a bit of the happenings in Parliament today?
Well, I think Parliament started well, a bit late, but well, we're all there. The Speaker gave his opening address, and then also the minority and the majority leader also gave their opening address, and the Speaker really identified the critical bills that we have to take them, because some of them are very crucial and important, so that we take them. And the two leaders also spoke. The issue of this usual galamsey thing ran through their speeches. And for me, I think that we should take this galamsey issue off the ballot.
It should be taken off the ballot. Why is that?
Oh, if we continue to put this galamsey issue on the ballot, when I say it's on the ballot, you understand that it becomes a ballot issue, that election issue. We will not be able to solve it.
You think it is currently it is an election issue?
We should take it as for God and country.
Okay.
If we all come together and realize that the issue of environmental degradation is for God and country, it is not by accident that the framers of our constitution said we should create commission for all natural resources, because sustainable management of the natural resources is not for us today, but it's also for
the future.
It's not for us alone today, but it's also for the future people. Okay, so for me, if it becomes a political issue, we will not be able to solve it.
Okay,
we should take it on the principles for God and country, and then if we all look at it that way, from the genesis, from landowners. Ghana, we have public land. Let's say we say state land. We have stool lands. And we have family lands, and maybe individuals like you can also have their own that they've purchased.
Absolutely.
Okay, so land tenure system, before you can have the right of authority to enter any land, it belongs to somebody. So if we all come together and make sure that we apply the law together, we'll go there. Mampohini, who said he will not allow anybody to do galamsey on his land. There's no one doing it.
So there's no galamsey activity in Mampong?
Yes, I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you. So for me, if it becomes this
ballot issue,
we won't solve it. Because from generation, from generation and from party to party, government to government, we know galamsey have been running through. And it's the illegal mining that is the issue. Is that not so? Okay. So let's leave it that it is a country, it is an issue, a national issue, that we are to consider it as for God and country.
Okay.
And when we come together that way,
we'll find a solution.
Should be able to solve it.
Okay. On the back of that, you are pretty much into agriculture. I believe that you have seen the devastating effects of galamsey on the agric sector. How would you rate successive governments' performance in terms of fighting the menace?
Well, successive governments have done what they could. Okay. And the first person who really almost sacrificed his political fortune is the current president.
Akufo-Addo?
Yes.
Okay.
Where he placed his political fortune on the issue and said that, look,
placing his presidency on the line.
Yes, and we saw the consequence. Is that not so?
Losing some seats.
Good. We saw it. Okay. Whilst he
But
needed,
we didn't get the results.
whilst he needed the entire support of the country, and that is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
That before 3 months to this election, okay, or let's say by end of last year, we all saw the effort that we were all putting in, okay, to ensure that mining illegally in water bodies, in the forest, and let's say you added cocoa lands and all that, has become an issue. We've gotten it very heated because there's an election coming. Okay, there's an election coming. And that is why I'm saying that successive government have done. You remember when NDC were in power, President John Mahama at a point sent military to the place. Finally, he has to withdraw them. We also came, we put the system in place thinking that Ghanaians could learn the lesson. One of the best laws that we have in terms of mining, okay, is that of Ghana and that of Kenya. And I keep saying that, look, if we all implement even 70 or 60% of that act, this problem will not be there. And it is a total ball game that we have to play to this game. And align it to the principle for God and country. For me, if we all agree to go that way.
That is your position.
That is my position.
Okay.
We should be able to solve it.
Okay.
Dr. Bawumia has his vision and his approach in dealing with this issue, where other sector leaders will come and talk about that. But the framework of it is that why do you let the people do, quote unquote, the Matra Makwe approach? And the Matra Makwe approach even devastate the environment more. So if you have Geological Service Department, Dr. Bawumia is saying that they have done the prospects. They know where the goals are. Now come and formalize your mining to make it legal. And we will allocate you the areas where the goals are. So you wouldn't go just looking for gold anywhere because there's gold there. And you know, you could have a whole land that you can start mining, and you can only meet the gold maybe 3/4 way after you have devastated the land. Okay, so it's part of his approach that for
to
me,
empower
I
the
think
Geological
that's
Survey
right.
Authority.
Get them,
Okay.
get people, the youth to register and get their licenses to mine, and then take them. This is your area. By then, you know, the manifesto also has an integration aspect with the chiefs, the traditional authorities. There's a special program for traditional authorities engagement directly with the president when Dr. Bawumia became the president. Okay. And so in that sense, we can come together, like I was saying, as a national aspect, and then for God-fearing people who knows very well that this thing that we are doing, our forefathers, if they had gone this way, we wouldn't have come to meet it. So we are providing security to the environment for today and for the future. That is what I would say
absolutely.
about this.
Absolutely. Let's touch a bit on agriculture.
Okay.
People have accused the NPP government of failing in terms of food security. What is your response to that?
No. Data doesn't show.
Data doesn't show
that NPP has failed when it comes to agriculture. The data doesn't show at all. We can go through that.
I mean, they've talked about the fact that the planting for food and jobs hasn't been a success as it was touted to be. The one village, one dam policy was completely futile. How do you respond to that?
So data must prove.
Okay. What is the data saying?
Good. So the planting for food and job phase 1 had successes, significant successes. And I can mention that we were very successful in maize and cassava and plantain production. Okay, very successful. We even yield in maize and rice and soya bean increased 135%, 67%, and 80% respectively. When I talk about yield, what I mean is that if you put in a particular variety of seed, certified seed into a hectare, how many metric tons should it give you? Okay, so we were able to improve in that area. You know, we were also...
You improved in the planting for all the yield?
Yeah, the yield to start with.
Okay, so the maize,
because when
soya...
when you are able to gain yield in the variety of seed that you grow. At the end of the day, per hectare, the farmer will get more. You see, we want to make food affordable, which of course to reduce the cost of living. But making food affordable should not be at the expense of the farmer.
Okay.
I hope you understand. So you must make sure that the farmer is really in business. He makes returns or she makes returns so that when today she cultivates, let's say 2 hectares, tomorrow he can do more. So we did that, maize, rice and soya bean improvement. We also had increased production in maize, 98% increase in production, rice, 87%, cassava, 45%.
Okay.
Now, we even improved in fertilizer application rate. Okay, 2016, fertilizer application rate was 8 kilogram per hectare. We were able to improve it to 25 kilogram per hectare. Okay, now when you come to seed distribution, okay, when we talk about certified seed that can yield more, okay, we improved from 2,000 metric tons to 36,000 metric tons. Remember in 2018, we employed 2,700 of agriculture extension agents.
Okay.
It reduced the agriculture extension agent per farmer from 1 is to 1,906 to 1 is to 709.
Okay.
Now, after saying all this, which economic data that all globally we all use to indicate whether a sector has really improved? Which, so one, we look at the sector's growth. Okay, the sector's growth, because you see, we can't be talking in a vacuum. We have a standard indices that indicates that this sector is improving or is not improving. And averagely, we had increased the agriculture sector growth from 2.7 to 6%. And let me give you statistics now. When you come to the value added by agriculture on GDP, okay, and it will tell you that the planting for food and job phase 1 did not fail.
Did not fail.
It will tell you.
Okay.
Because these are things that you use to determine that, yes, your sector is really improving or it's not, improving.
I want us to get to the statistics.
So let me give you, let me give you the statistics. Now, I've given you the growth rate. This statistics is coming from the Bank of Ghana and Ghana Statistical Service, 2024. It is there. You can Google and get this information. As at 2013 and 2013, the value added by the NDC government from agriculture to GDP was, these are in millions, Ghana cedis. So it's 25,355.9 million Ghana cedis. That is 2013. And 2016.
Sorry, the figure again.
25,355.9 million Ghana cedis.
That's in 2013.
That is in 2013. In 2016, they had improved it to 26,824.2 million Ghana cedis. Agriculture's value addition to the gross domestic product. Now let's come to 2017 to 2020, the first term of MPP government. 2017, we have added, agriculture has added under the tenure of MPP, 28,490.9 million. Okay. And 2020, we had increased it to 33,548.6 million. Okay, you see the increment. I will get you the increment. Now, 2021 to 2023, 2021, 36,385.9 million. 2023, 39,587 million. Now, if you bring it and use 2013 as a baseline, for 2013 to 2016, the addition that came in terms of the difference was 1,468.3 million.
Okay.
That is 5.79%.
Okay.
Now, if you come to MPP 2017, 25.07%. When you compare to the second term to 2016, 47.58. The figures are here. And even if you base MPP, that is 2020 against 2023, the second term, 18%. And a difference going to 6,038.4 million. That of the 2016 in comparison to the 2023 is 12,762.8 million. Value added by agriculture on GDP.
Okay.
So now, when you come back to inflation, you see, let's take our time. That's why I told you we need time to be talking about this thing so that the propaganda will go out. The facts and data is what we must use to run this country.
Granted.
Now, when you come to inflation, because inflation is the food basket contribution in inflation is key. And therefore, this work that was done in terms of increasing production for crops, staple food, and all that must reflect in the inflationary figures. Okay, and so you realize that 2016, end of 2016, inflation was 17.46%. 2017, end of 2017, it came to 12.37%. Now 2018, 9.84%. And for the first time, Ghana ran single-digit inflation for 4 continuous years. For 4 continuous years. And even in 2019, 7.14 for 4 decades. This is a record.
Okay.
For 4 decades.
Granted,
so you see, when you come to 2021, you realize that the inflation was 9.98. Now, from there, inflation started going up. And that is where all of us must accept that in this world, the moment there is an issue that breaks the data that I quoted for you, okay? This is it. You can do a photocopy and keep it. The data that I quoted for you. So so you can see the source. You can get the source.
Okay, granted, but these are numbers. You agree? They are not reflective.
No, they are. If they are not reflective, then what indices again are we using?
Are food prices not up?
No, you see, as at that time, food prices were not up.
But now they are.
That is it. That is why I was coming to your point, another point, that we all know how come supply chain system broke down. How come? What happened? When we got COVID, the whole global issue became a whole challenge. There was a breakdown of supply chain.
So
fertilizers could not come.
You are blaming food security on COVID.
I'm saying that. You see this graph. Okay, you see this graph. What is written on it?
Monthly food price index worldwide from 2000 to 2024.
Okay. You see the way it is. Check 2008. If you can. Check 2008. Check 2008. Where is the graph at 2008? Check.
It was just
it's
about
up there.
75%.
You see, now, 2000, there was a global financial meltdown. Okay. Now check from 2019 coming to 2020 when COVID came. 2021, 2022, check. So, see, Ghana cannot be in an isolation when you have such a challenge. As I speak to you today, at least inflation by August of this year has come to 20.4. We're still hopeful that it should come down. So, if anyone says that planting for food and job phase 1 failed, it did not.
You disagree?
I disagree.
Okay.
Now we had definitely it's a program. You will face some challenges.
Okay. That's okay.
Challenges that we faced in phase 1 and lessons and successes have culminated into the phase 2. And the phase 2, which have been built for 5 years to 2028, and this roadmap has informed a lot of Dr. Baumier's vision.
That is okay.
Going forward.
I will talk about his vision shortly, but you talked about the planting for food and jobs not being a failure. What about the one village, one dam? How many dams has the government constructed?
No, if you talk about one village, one dam, having
and I'm asking this
failure,
because of the recent dry spell that hits up north.
Yes, you know we have a challenge when it comes to climate change. And it is not peculiar to Ghana.
But are the dams there?
No, the dams. Oh, very recently, the president, we stocked about 1 million fingerlings in some of the dams.
How many of the dams?
Oh, well, I can't remember how many of them, but I know they stocked 1 million fingerlings because we had done some work with CSR and the International Water Management Institute. That is what we were calling aquaculture for food and jobs. And we had done that pilot, and it became so successful. So that some of the dams are still working. I wouldn't say that all of them. Some have dried out.
But
yes.
What I want to know is the total number of dams the government has constructed.
Oh, we can get the figure. We know we had our tracking system, the MPP tracking system. Those
Performance
figures
tracker.
are performance tracker. Those figures
Those
are there.
are reliable
yes, they are all
figures.
reliable. Yeah, reliable figures. They are all there. You can get. I can't get them off my head. But if you do the performance tracker, you will get the number of dams that were created and all. But all that I am saying is that we had that hitch. And look, government strategy for planting for food and jobs one was input subsidy, okay, which was the main anchor for the smallholder farmers, that we are giving them subsidy in terms of inputs. Now, when COVID came, and we all know, we were all shouting that government stop everything and protect our lives. Now we have the life. Government resources now cannot really go into input subsidy. That is what phase 2 is talking about: input credit and aggregators and master aggregators.
That is what Baumia is proposing.
That is phase 2 of the planting for food and jobs. Okay? And in that sense, we anchoring it up, making sure that private sector will also set in, try to create the interest to upscale the interest of private sector into agriculture. And therefore, if you allow me, I can now pick Baumier's now vision for agriculture. But for me, if anyone says that even the knowledge and practice in agronomical protocols and technologies of small farmerholders has improved. You are a journalist, you can pick it as a challenge and go down there. Planting for food and jobs has really improved the knowledge and practices of the smallholder farmer when it comes to agronomic protocols and technologies.
Okay.
At least, so in that sense, anytime you have agricultural extension agents now dealing with your farmers now, at least there is some base knowledge that they have now, because we want to commercialize agriculture. We want to bring technology to agriculture. We want to mechanize agriculture. We want to expand our irrigation system. And these are some of the methods that you will use to fight climate change. And the reason why we really want to support research and development into varieties.
Okay, that's okay. One thing that a lot of people have described as ridiculous is the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Hawa Kumsin, going to the sea with a key to lock the sea. Do you agree? People say it's ridiculous. Is it for you?
No, it's symbolic.
It's symbolic.
Yeah.
So you believe that action is important?
It's symbolic.
Okay.
But there's.
But it is not ridiculous.
There's a scientific meaning to close season, and if you want me to explain, I will give you the explanation.
Unfortunately, we don't have that time.
Yeah, we'll come to fisheries. If we have time, we'll come to fisheries because we'll pick crops, we'll pick animal husbandry, we'll pick mechanization, we'll pick irrigation, and Baumier's vision in those areas, I want to tout them. Okay. I want to let the Ghanaians know. And if you really want me to come back, I will come back, because for me, This is what is going to make the difference.
Okay.
We should be able to explain the issues to the Ghanaians so that the Ghanaian can make an informed choices and informed judgments on both political parties.
Okay.
And I believe we have a strong position. And I started telling you that Bawumia's vision is to reduce cost of living for the Ghanaian. And food is one. And therefore agriculture is very important. But it shouldn't be at the expense of the farmer. And therefore it should be business oriented. Okay? Business oriented. And then the application, farmer and fisher centered, business oriented, and the application of technology and sustainable climate practices.
Okay.
Okay. And based on that, we will have to gear towards paying attention to reducing cost of production. And how do you do that? The first thing in Dr. Bawumia's mind is to de-risk agriculture. You know, agriculture is deemed by the lenders and the financial institution as a high-risk area. And for that matter, in 2019, we decided to create a limited liability company called GESEL. And GESEL is Ghana Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agricultural Lending. It's a limited liability. As I speak to you, they've been able to deal with 35 of the lending institutions. They've been able to release guarantee for 137 companies. They've been able to release 1.2 billion guarantee for agribusiness people. Bawumia wants us to accelerate it. And GESEL is created by government.
That is one of his plans to de-risk.
To de-risk agriculture.
Okay.
One of his plans. So we need to accelerate it to make sure that at least one, there's credit risk guarantee. Two, there's agriculture insurance. The GESEL also does a lot of training for financial institutions. You know, most financial institutions are not too familiar with the agricultural value chain issues. And therefore, the perception is that there's risk in that area.
Okay.
Second way of dealing with it that Dr. Bawumia also is coming up with, which we've piloted and had some successes, and therefore we want to escalate it to every region, is the economic enclave agriculture, where you have an enclave and you make sure that you put in all the value chains in place. Now, as I speak to you, if you hit the road to Adan, Accra, Adan, there's Chopoli to Kusanya, about 18-kilometer road has been done. It's one of the enclaves that we've piloted, and it is working. 18 kilometers road has been done. We've sent power there, and the power source there is for solar and hydro. You know why? So that the cost of using power in the agriculture enclave will be lower. So if you want a private man to set a factory there because maybe you are producing rice and you need to mill, or you are producing cassava that you need to process, at least the energy consumption and cost of energy will come down. And before then, if you've done the de-risking by using the GESEL, and also we want to redirect the Development Bank Ghana and the Agriculture Bank to do that, you are also reducing cost of capital at the end of the day, because the credit risk has been guaranteed by GESEL, and therefore you will be seen doing that. The enclave purpose is to ensure that you put in relating terms the nature of the soil and the crops that it can't grow well and develop the enclave. As I speak to you, Afram Plains, we've zoned Afram Plains into 4 zones. Afram Plains can give an irrigated area of 7,100 hectares. We are targeting 550 as I speak to you. As I speak to you, in that Afram Plains, we're looking at 700 hectares for tomatoes. We're looking at 1,150 hectares for pepper. We're looking at 500 hectares for onion. And we're looking at 600 hectares for rice and also for maize. And this agricultural enclave approach is one way to ensure that you put in all the value chains in there and move on. Now, one other thing that we learned from that Dr. Bomia learned from the Planting for Food and Jobs 1 and then the phase 2.
Unfortunately, we are out of time.
Well, I told you. From the beginning, I told you that definitely we will get to this. This. I told you we will get it.
But we will have to talk about fisheries proper.
You want us to talk about fisheries now?
Absolutely. Not now.
Yes, we can. Anytime you want me to come, I'm ready to come.
Okay.
But I think that you will need to give me time to be able to, because agriculture is a very important area. One of the highest sector that employs people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I agree.
So when we come and it is these 30 minutes issues, then we may have to be rushing through, because I could rush through my PowerPoint and then get out of here. But I wouldn't be able to explain the basis of the PowerPoints to the understanding of the people.
Absolutely.
So we will need good time to
Absolutely.
to
Thank
deal
you
with
very
it.
much. Thank you very much. I've been engaging Moses Inim. He's a member of parliament for the Chobu constituency and also the NPP spokesperson on agriculture and fisheries. And that does it for Campaign Trio. And by extension, starts today. Thank you very much for your time this evening. I'm Tutuwaa Danso. I've been doing this with Joshua Kodjo Mensah, who left for TV to give us Campaign Uncensored. We are back tomorrow with more news updates here on Start Today. Thank you very much for your time. And a big thank you to the production team as well. Have a good evening.